Sun slips low behind the pine trees, painting fire on your skin. We're standing on this worn-out porch where all our tales begin. You laughed through the thunderstorms, said love's a fearless game. We held tight in the pouring rain, never once afraid of pain. The dust kicked up beneath our boots, the stars looked down and swayed. Loving you felt like the first step on a road we both had made. Every small town night, every miles we've worn, built a story in the silence, a sky reborn. Brave enough to stay when the winds tried to pull us away. We found the strength in the breaking, in the day-to-day. Where we belong isn't a place, it's you and I holding on. Loving you was the bravest song I ever sung. Remember that summer's heat, the porch light flickered on and off. You whispered, let's make this last, and I knew I couldn't walk off. With every mile the road stretched, with every dawn's subtle hue, we carved a home in each other's eyes, in the small things that we do. The quiet talks at midnight, the hands that never slipped. Found a fearless kind of comfort in your constant grin. Brave enough to stay when the winds tried to pull us away. We found the strength in the breaking, in the day-to-day. Where we belong isn't a place, it's you and I holding on. Loving you was the bravest song I ever sung. No grand declarations made in words, just steady beats of hearts aligned in the quiet courage of morning light. Our love's unconfined. Brave enough to stay when the winds tried to pull us away. We found the strength in the breaking, in the day-to-day. Where we belong isn't a place, it's you and I holding on. Loving you was the bravest song I ever sung. So here beneath the open sky, I whisper not goodbye, but thank you for the journey. Brave enough to stay by my side. The porch light flickers, old swings sway in time. Dust settles softly on memories we left behind. Summer nights slipping through open windows wide. You and me barefoot dancing, nowhere left to hide. But then the words just faded like the smoke from our fire. Silence grew like a wall, and hope seemed to tire. We held our breath photographs in faded frames, the distance miles and miles. Still the porch swings creak as if calling out your name. In this stillness we found ways to keep the flame. Words not spoken, yet hearts aligned. In the hush, our souls defined. But here we stand, weathered and worn, past the calm where storms were born. Through the quiet, through the pain, we survived the silence after all this time again. Cracks in the silence, let the dawn break through. Old wounds healing with morning dew. No need for answers carved in rhyme. Just you and me rewrote the lines. Yes, here we stand, weathered and worn, past the calm where storms were born. Through the quiet, through the pain, we survived the silence after all this time again. Porch light flickers, old swings slow their climb. After all the quiet, we survived the silence, living this time. Worn boots on a gravel road, faded lines on a weathered map. Every mile a memory, every bend a little crack. Pick myself up from the broken glass, learn to walk through the pain. Every scar a story, every scar a game. There was that night under summer rain, headlights and 1,000 miles. You lent me your old jacket, told me, child, don't lose your smile. The road was rough and my heart was tougher, but your hand found mine like a compass pointing home. You saved me just in time. I wore my battle lines like armor, thought I'd never let them show. Then you walked in, quiet and steady, made me feel whole. These road maps of our battles brought me here to you. Against the world, scars like badges, worn but true. No fairy tale, just truth, blood and grit that grew. Every wound that healed was leading me right to you. Firelit nights on a worn-out porch, stories told with grit and grace. Your laughter filled the spaces where the past tried to erase. I told you about the fights inside, the nights I felt alone. You said, darling, every crack is where the light gets in and grows. Together walking through the thunder, weathered storms and skies so blue, I realized my scars weren't changed, but the map that led to you. These road maps of our road maps of our battles brought me here to you. Against the world, scars like badges, worn but true. No fairy tale, just truth. Blood and grit that grew. Every wound that healed was leading me right to you. So here's the roads that broke me, and the love that made me new. Every scar on this journey led me straight to The sun dips low, painting lanes in gold. Hand in hand, the evening starts to unfold. We pick our steps down this old gravel road. Every mile a story, every story told. You laugh at a joke, only we understand. A silent language, soft touch of your hand. Far from the noise, just you and I. Underneath this vast and endless sky, this is the way we love, no need to hide. Open hearts beating in the countryside. With every sunset, every starlit night, we're right here, holding on tight. Fireflies dance like tiny sparks of light. Our words float softly on the warm night air. The world slips away, just us in this scene. Two souls wrapped tight in a gentle dream. No fancy words or grand designs, just honest truth beneath these pines. This is the way we love, no need to hide. Open hearts beating in the countryside. With every sunset, every starlit night, we're right here, holding on tight. And when the morning comes slow and warm, we'll find new rhythms, shape a new dawn. No matter the miles, the turns in this life, we walk together, husband and wife. This is the way we love, no need to hide. Open hearts beating in the countryside. With every sunset, every starlit night, we're right here, holding on tight. Underneath our wide open sky, where our stories live, where love won't die. Late summer's air is hanging low. We sit on porch steps, neither ready to let go. The last light paints your face with gold. Two hearts caught in a story not yet told. You trace old cracks in the wooden rail, words unsaid like a train off the rail. Between goodbye and forever is where we stand, trying to hold tight with both hands. Every glance a river wide, where do we run, what can we hide? Between the lines of yes and no, we're dancing on a thin worn road, treading lines between us, fragile and true. One step forward, then back to you. Holding on though the road is rough, in this place where love feels tough. Between goodbye and forever, here we stay, learning how not to walk away. Morning coffee with silence steeped, your eyes a story I haven't reached. Minutes stretch on like distant planes, caught in the quiet, holding pains. Words unsaid like a pause song, trying to find where we belong. Between the poor, dark and light, we're holding on through the fading night, treading lines between us, fragile and true. One step forward, then back to you. Holding on though the road is rough, in this place where love feels tough. Between goodbye and forever, here we stay, learning how not to walk away. Maybe someday the path will clear, maybe someday no more fear. But tonight we're caught, hearts in flight, balancing between the wrong and right, treading lines between us, fragile and true. One step forward, then back to you. Holding on though the road is rough, in this place where love feels tough. Between goodbye and forever, here we stay, learning how not to walk away. The summer night folds us close, between goodbye and forever, we chose. Sunset slow on this old town street, dust kicks up beneath our worn out feet. Two kids wild with fire in their eyes, chasing dreams against the fading sky. We carved our names into that rusty gate, swore we'd break free, rewrite our fate. My Mama cried, said life won't be kind, but we were never the easy kind. Storms rolled in and the nights got cold, but we held on to stories untold. They doubted us, but we still stood tall. Refused to stumble, refused to fall. Oh, we ran head first against the grain, through the pouring rain, through the pain. Never fit in, never played it safe. We were fire in a world too tame. Rivers wide and highways long, we sang our truths in every song. Lost a few but gained so much more. Every scar a tale, every step a door. Door slammed shut but we kept knocking. Found our place, no more clocking. Heartbeats loud, a steady drum. Against the world we wouldn't numb. Oh, we ran head first against the grain, through the pouring rain, through the pain. Never fitted in, never played it safe. We were fire in a world too tame. Now the years press on like rolling wheels, but in our eyes the same old zeal. Not easy roads, but worth the fight. We lit our path, we chose our light. Oh, we ran head first against the grain, through the pouring rain, through the pain. Never fitted in, never played it safe. We were fire in a world too tame. Two kids wild with fire in their eyes, still chasing dreams beneath open skies. The night held its breath, no words to share. Feet on the porch with a weight in the air. Stars flickered low, seemed shy to shine, but inside that hush our hearts align. displays, just two worn souls in the sun's warm haze. The silence no longer a wall or a cage, but a meeting place to turn a new page. With every breath, the tension's eased, love stitched the seams where we once ceased. We survived the silence when silence screams loud, holding the pieces without a sound. In the quiet, we found what words can't explain, breaking the chains, dancing in the no need to fill the void with noise or fear. Sometimes the stillness is crystal clear. Our story told in glances and sighs, truth lived in the pause, no disguise. We survived the silence when silence screams loud, holding the pieces without a sound. In the quiet, we found what words can't explain, breaking the chains, dancing in the rain. The night lets go, the silence sets free. In the space between you and me, the night was long and the stars hid from view. I sat on the porch with my old worn boots, sipping on dreams that felt thin and warm, wondering if hope could still be reborn. There's dirt on my head, on my face. Every road I've taken led me to this place. Faces I've known went their own way, yet I'm still here, still got things to say. When the skies poured down and the wind lost its way, through slow. Keep your eyes on the horizon, there's more to know. If you still believe through the night and the doubt, hold on to the morning light, don't let it fade out. When the world feels heavy and the road feels steep, keep your heart steady, for dreams still run deep. So here's to the ones who never let go. Keep the fire alive, let the morning glow. The porch light flicks on slow, the evening air is thin, fingers tracing worn wood where our story first begins. Time taught me how to stand, facing storms without a sound. You were the fire I chased in a town that held me down. Painted smiles on rainy days, the truth hid in your glance. I held on to every word like it was our only chance. But the nights grew colder and the silence louder too. I found the strength in heartbreak, learning how to lose. Loving you was the bravest thing I ever dared to do, like walking through those fields that only the fearless knew. I carved your name in the bark of memories that won't fade. Before the last goodbye, before the light began to fade. Your shirt left on the chair carries your scent like a song. Rooms remember laughter, though the ride feels so wrong. The dusty trail we walked, now a map I hold alone. Every step was courage on roads less traveled home. Faces in the firelight, stories left untold. I found my own tomorrow, though you slipped from my hold. Loving you was the bravest thing I ever dared to do, like walking through those fields that only the fearless knew. I carved your name in the bark of memories that won't fade. Before the last goodbye, before the light began to fade. No regrets in the quiet, just the courage to be true. I held on when others ran, and that's what brought me through. Loving you was the bravest thing I ever dared to do, like walking through those fields that only the fearless knew. I carved your name in the bark of memories that won't fade. Before the last goodbye, before the light began to fade. Loving you was everything, even with the pain. Late night on this honky-tonk street, the neon glows where our worlds used to meet. I pour a drink, the band plays low, but your name's in every song, don't you know? Every bar, every tune I can't escape. That melody pulls me back to that day when you laughed beside me in the summer rain. Now it's just me and this old refrain. I try to turn the dial, change the air, but your voice still lingers everywhere. Across the strings, across the crowd, your name shines clear, calling out loud. Your name in every song, fighting through the noise like a flame, lighting up these empty bars and cold steel toys. I'm chasing memories, running from the pain, but I hear your name, every beat, every refrain. The jukebox hums a familiar tune, brings back the nights under a silver moon. Those country roads, the dusty sky, where your name rides the wind passing by. I can't hide from what's inside that bittersweet song where you still reside. Through every note I'm haunted and known, your name's a seed that's deeply sown. Your name in every song, fighting through the noise like a flame, lighting up these empty bars and cold steel toys. I'm chasing memories, running from the pain, but I hear your name, every beat, every refrain. Maybe someday I'll find a new tune, a melody free of the past and you. Till then I'm caught where the music flows, and your name's the river that always knows. Your name in every song, fighting through the noise like a flame, lighting up these empty bars and cold steel toys. I'm chasing memories, running from the pain, but I hear your name, every beat, every refrain. So I'll keep playing night after night, your name guiding me through fading light. In every chord you still belong, a bittersweet line in my heart song. The attic's full of smiles caught in frozen laughs. Dust hangs thick like whispered tales of roads we walked as youthful trails. Sunlight breaks through crooked panes on faces worn by time and stains. A leather jacket frayed and torn. The night we danced till early morn. Every picture tells a time we thought we'd never say goodbye. But seasons change like shifting sands, leaving just these faded hands. Faded frames in the attic's cold, stories lost that we once told, holding tight to what we knew before the world just slipped on through. That old blue truck beneath the tree, keychains jangling memory. Summer nights with fireflies glow, promises made in soft moon show. The songs we sang without a care, the gentle breeze upon our hair. Though time moved on, the past remains in photographs and window panes. Faded frames in the attic's cold, stories lost that we once told, holding tight to what we knew before the world just slipped on through. Sometimes I reach up through the dust, touch the picture's golden rust, wishing I could steal a day to live the moment swept away. Faded frames in the attic's cold, stories lost that we once told, holding tight to what we knew before the world just slipped on through. I close the chest, the past remains in faded frames and old refrains. The porch light flickers as the night creeps in. Old boots on the floor where it all begins. We stood on the porch with words left unsaid, hands out of reach, but our hearts still bled. Cracks running deep down the middle of us, like weathered leather, worn thin by the truss. Couldn't walk away even though we tried. Two torn pieces struggling side by side. We broke but stayed, hanging shrugs. Your hand on my shoulder, more bruised than a touch. We're holding on, though it's almost too much. You're the song I can't stop humming through, even when the words don't sound like they used to. We broke but stayed, hanging on the wire, at the edge of forever, caught in the fire. Not quite together, not fully apart, frayed at the margins, but bound by the heart. Maybe someday the edges will mend, or maybe this story just won't end. Till then, we dance in this fragile space, two souls tied up in a half-broken We broke but stayed, hanging on the wire, at the edge of forever, caught in the fire. Not quite together, not fully apart, frayed at the margins, but bound by the heart. Old boots by the door, the lights still aglow, frayed at the margins, learning to grow. The porch lights left on, there's a chill in the air, but your hand finds mine and suddenly it's fair. We parked the truck by the old river bend, just two worn boots and hearts about to mend. Your laugh cut through the summer night loud and clear, like a firefly's dance just drawing me near. Time spun slow, our breath caught in between, in that small town still, where everything's green. It was the night we stayed, where love still lives, in a place where the past never quite forgives. But under those stars, nothing else existed, just you and me, in the night that persisted. The cricket sang stories only we could translate. The wind stirred the leaves, spelled out our fate. Your eyes like headlights cutting through the dark, led me home, straight to the heart spark. No rush, no map, just a simple ride. Two souls unspoken, side by side. It was the night we stayed, where love still lives, in a place where the past quite forgives. But under those stars, nothing else existed. Just you and me, and the night that persisted. Morning crept slow, but we held on tight to that quiet place where wrongs turn right. And if the world calls us back to fight, we'll remember that night in soft moonlight. It was the night we stayed where love still lives, in a place where the past never quite forgives. But under those stars, nothing else existed. Just you and me, and the night that persisted. So here's to the night with no goodbyes, where love took root beneath open skies. Empty streets beneath a faded neon sign. Broken windows tell the stories left behind. Dusty boots and weathered hands, carving dreams in this worn-out land. Used to dance in crowded halls, laughter all around. Now silence hums through every rusted town. She wore a smile like summer rains, but the city's scars, they left their stains. We tried to build from ash and stone, but sometimes love feels all alone. Signs flicker, shadows on the wall. Footsteps echo down an empty hall. She hums old songs from days gone by underneath the graying sky. Walls may crumble, streets may bend, but our story doesn't end. Fire. where love and loss quietly meet. The sun sang low behind the old pine hill. Dust kicked up, the evening air was still. Two young hearts, wild and unafraid, took a chance in the golden haze. I remember that summer night, clear as glass. Your hand in mine, the world didn't pass. Roads uncharted, promises unsaid, every smile like a dream in my head. But we were just kids with a fire untamed, running fast through the fields, calling out your name. Loving you was the bravest thing. Two hearts clashed like wild horses running. Against all odds, we stood our ground in a small town where love seldom found. The nights grew colder, the world got tough, but baby, we weren't scared, never enough. Your laugh was a lifeline, your eyes a spark, turning ordinary days into a work of art. Those shadows crept, we held our light, fighting for us through each long night. Loving you was the bravest thing. Two hearts clashed like wild horses running. Against all odds, we stood our ground in a small town where love seldom found. Years will pass and the paths may bend, but I'd take that leap to you again. Every sunset reminds me still, we had that fire, and we always will. Loving you was the bravest thing. Two hearts clashed like wild horses running. Against all odds, we stood our ground in a small town where love seldom found. So here's to the nights that made us strong, to love that felt like a lifelong song. Brave hearts on fire, chasing the sun, forever young, forever one. The porch light burns low, the night feels thick. Your boots hit the floor, heavy and quick. Promises made under neon signs, left behind like old worn out lines. built our dreams on a shaky ground. Words like fire but no warmth found. Your smile once shone like morning dew, now it's cracked, fading into blue. I held on tight through storm and wear, but hope grew loud, filled the empty air. Silent rooms turned to crowded fights, trying to find what's wrong or right. Built from broken promises that never stay true. When hope is loud but it's calling out for you. All the words we lost somewhere along the way. When silence shouts the truth we can't betray. The kitchen table still holds your mug, cold coffee stains and a bittersweet hug. The pictures tell stories, smiles that lie, of a love that's worn thin, destined to die. Hours turn to days and days to regret. What we had's a sunset we can't forget. The weight of hope heavy on my chest, trying to find peace, trying to rest. Built from broken promises that never stay true. When hope is loud but it's calling out for you. Oh, all the words we lost somewhere along the way. When silence shouts the truth we can't betray. Maybe someday the pieces will mend, but tonight it's a story that won't pretend. When hope screams louder than what we said, it's time to move on from what's left unsaid. Built from broken promises that never stay true. When hope is loud but it's calling out for you. And all the words we lost somewhere along the way. When silence shouts the truth we can't betray. The porch light fades, the night grows cold. Some stories are heavy, some never told. But when hope is loud and words fall through, we learn to live after falling through you. I remember the porch light glowing, soft and steady through the rain. 2 cups on the table, but the silence spoke louder than the pain. We traced the lines of our memories like stitches in old jeans. Every laugh, every fight, like the river running beneath our dreams. You held your hands tight like you were holding on to glass. I watched the moments fading like a slow train passing past. Somewhere in the quiet, between the words we never said, there's a space that's grown wider by the tears we left unshed. It's the space between our hands where the almost lived and lost, between goodbye and forever, where we counted up the cost. Not quite love, not quite gone, just a we couldn't quite ignore. I reached for you in moments that were falling out of time, but hands that once fit perfectly began to slip and unwind. Words hung like pictures faded on a galley wall. Some stories don't end cleanly, they just quietly fall. It's the space between our hands where they almost lived and lost, between goodbye and forever, where we counted up the cost. Not quite love, not quite gone, just a story left untold. The space between our hands, holding what we almost sold. Maybe someday we'll meet on roads that don't bend or break, where the past won't weigh heavy and the heart can dare to take. But until then, I'll hold this space, gentle and true, a quiet place that remembers me and you. It's a space between our hands where they almost lived and lost, between goodbye and forever, where we counted up the cost. Not quite love, not quite gone, just a story left untold. The space between our hands, holding what we almost sold. The light's still on that porch tonight, but the seats remain unheld. In the space between our hands lies what we almost spelled. Firelight flickers in our eyes tonight. Old boots on the porch, worn just right. Lifelines tracing stories that we know. Here's the tale of us, take it slow. We're chasing sunsets down those dirt roads, pick a bed full of dreams we hold, tangled hands and honest talks beneath the stars, living moments like they're ours. No promises of forever, just this breath we share, 1,000 small memories hanging in with you. This is how we love while we're still here, counting every heartbeat, wiping every tear. No need for tomorrows when the day's this clear. Hand in hand, right now, here and now, forever near. So let's hold tight to this simple grace, living love in every place. Here and now, that's all we need. Forever starts with this simple seed. The day the road bent under my feet, news came down like rain, relentless and sweet. Everything I knew took a new shape. A chapter flips and I can't escape. Sun was high, I was riding slow. Found myself searching for a place to go. Letters in my hand, heavy with the truth. Lost in the middle of my own youth. But in the silence of that sudden change, something deep inside refused to break. If you still believe when everything changed, when the storm rolls in and nothing feels the same, hold on tight to the fire in your chest. Find the road back to rest. Faces fade, but memories stay clear. Like a faded photograph I still hold dear. Mountains crumble and rivers rearrange, but I'm still here learning to turn the page. Broken days won't steal this soul away. There's a light that guides me every day. If you still believe when everything changed, when the storm rolls in and nothing feels the same, hold on tight to the fire in your chest. Find the road back to rest. Sometimes the world turns over so fast, you gotta find the pieces that last. In the wreckage I found my way, but leaves a map that never fades. If you still believe when everything changed, when the storm rolls in and nothing feels the same, hold on tight to the fire in your chest. Find the road back to rest. When the world turns over, don't lose your ground. The tire tracks still shine in the morning light. Dust rising slow where we last said goodnight. 2 cups of coffee on the weathered porch. Your faded denim jacket, the scent I couldn't scorch. That old dirt road winding past the roadside pines, carrying our laughter that no longer aligns. If I close my eyes, I can still see that day. Feet barefoot on gravel, chasing skies turn gray. Fading footsteps on an endless road, tracing memories we tried not to hold. At the edge where time forgot to sever, living fragments of what we were forever. Your old pickup truck parked beneath the stars. Headlights flicker, but they don't reach this far. Letters tucked in pockets, ink starting to blur. Words unfinished, like the dreams that didn't stir. I reach out through the quiet, hoping you'll stay, but the miles keep calling, pulling you away. Fading footsteps on an endless road, tracing memories we tried not to hold. At the edge where time forgot to sever, living fragments of what we were forever. The sun sinks low beneath the hills we crossed, counting all the moments we nearly lost. Though the seasons change and the wind moves on, your shadow lingers in the light of dawn. Fading footsteps on an endless road, tracing memories we tried not to hold. At the edge where time forgot to sever, living fragments of what we were forever. The tire tracks fading in the morning dew, leaving behind a story only known by 2.